Hi Gemini, welcome to your October 2015 Alchemy Scope. I'm Erin Scott with the Alchemy of Holism. So if you've tuned in before, you know that the Alchemy Scopes are kind of a six-pointed holistic reading that comes forward to kind of ascertain the archetypes and the symbols that are imbued within living systems, within our cycles, that are real, and they speak to us in very distinct ways. So let's just get into it. Firstly, I hope you're well. It has been a very intense summer for a variety of reasons. If you've tuned into any of my other scopes, if you have a moon or ascendant or a sun in another sign, and you've tuned into some of the other scopes that I've already filmed for October, you're aware already, either from that or from other information that's coming forward, is that the shifts that you've been feeling are keyed into the raising of the frequency happening within the planet and through us. Our frequency is raising. Over the last few years, it's raised quite a bit. Over the last few months, it's raised even more. We're kind of cresting a wave. At the end of September, we'll reach a bit of a tipping point. So this is a lively, vibrant, very important kind of game-changing month, actually. So if you are sensitive, you've probably already been feeling aches in the body or other sorts of physical symptoms. You know, it's thick, it's very rich. So let's kind of tap into the, and we're also in eclipse season, and there's also a lot of other cosmological events all happening. It's all kind of converging together, okay? So at the new moon that we just had, it was at 20 degrees Virgo. And as you know, I look at the collective story. So at that 20-degree Virgo degree point of the zodiac, what Sabian symbol is coded in. And this one is a girls' basketball team. So a girls' basketball team, the theme of that story and what that means is threaded in. It's kind of founded at the base of this particular new moon to new moon cycle. And of course, this is talking about girls connecting, women connecting in a team, in unity, in community, uniting together for a common goal, a common purpose. There's optimism that comes with being part of a team. There's cooperation that comes with being a part of a team. There's strength and confidence that comes there. This is a very interesting symbol to have imbuing the founding story for this particular energetic shifting, paradigm shifting month. So just let that sink in, let that settle in. Now, if we pull up the thematic, the energy set that's kind of active for Gemini-centric people over the course of the cycle, as you know, I pull up the I Ching. And Gemini, for you this month, you received number 11, harmony. Again, there's 6 lines to the I Ching. It's a hexagram, and there are 2 trigrams that make up the hexagram. Harmony consists of earth above, sky below, okay? So again, I'm reading this from the Visionary I Ching. Number 11, harmony. Earth stands above heaven, and heaven seems to be on earth. The gravity of matter merges upward, merges with the upward radiation of the light to merge in a deep harmony. I'm going to read that again. Earth stands above heaven, and heaven seems to be on earth. The gravity of matter merges with the upward radiation of the light to merge in a deep harmony. This juxtaposition denotes a time of peace and blessings for all living things. In the affairs of humans, tranquility comes when the good, strong, and powerful show favor to the lowly, and those whose modest means are well disposed toward those who are currently blessed. There is an end to all feuds. In such a state, energy is high, the way clear, and the prospects for great success outstanding. A deep chaos abides in nature, but humans, by carefully responding to the rhythms and cycles of the world around them, can find peace in the natural world. By planting the right crop in the right place in the right season, the farmer brings harmony to the natural worlds of plants and prosperity to his family. Similarly, any business must adjust to the natural cycles of the season. Only through flexibility and adjustment can order and growth be maintained. Peace produces a time of flowering and prosperity. The wise person channels, sorry, let me move this over here. The wise person channels this positive energy to all quarters, to each in proper proportion. Just as a farmer waters his field, as a farmer waters his field, but be vigilant, otherwise peaceful conditions can foster the growth of weeds as well as flowers. So harmony seems to be a bit of a sub-cycle for you, Gemini. So let's take a look. So I have already shuffled my deck. This is my 144 card custom deck that I use for myself, that most of you are familiar with already. So let's go ahead and pull it, and we'll see what event or circumstance may be coming forward for at least the majority of Gemini-centric people this month for your growth. It's always for your growth. Any situation or circumstance that's arising is for your growth and your evolution always. It's never any different. Okay, so Gemini, you have quite a few cards here. The number of cards depends on reversals, and you have quite a few cards here, which is good because it's giving, essentially it's giving more information. Okay, Gemini, so let me take a look. So the central issue for, again, this is a general reading, so this is perhaps for a good portion of you out there. There's something toxic in the home that you're having to deal with. This doesn't necessarily have to do with being ill or being sick. This could just be a toxicity in the home environment. And so as I'm looking at these other cards, it does appear that there's something with a lover. There's something with a lover. It doesn't appear to be a spouse, although it could. But it almost appears that it's almost as if it's showing up as a roommate. Now, a lot of you out there are not going to have roommates. So, but this could be a friend that you live with or somebody that's staying with you, like a visitor, like a guest or something like that. But there's something coming up, Gemini. This is what it looks like, okay? It looks like, for at least some of you out there, that there's going to be a situation where sex is put on the table, that somebody expresses their attraction or something occurs, but very quickly it turns and there's something that comes up that wasn't truthful, or something's uncovered, and the truthful foundation is kind of laid in ruin, and it becomes toxic. That's what it's looking like. So it doesn't necessarily look like it's a spouse. It looks like it's a friend of the families. It looks like it's something connected with your home. So it's like a friend of the families or something like that that's coming up here. But it does look like, and I'll show you these cards in a second, but I want to look at them. But it does appear, Gemini, that there is emotionally fear coming up. Now this fear, I'm kind of getting the impression it's not necessarily your fear. It's almost like the fear of the other person, although it could be yours as well. But there's fear of the strength of this person, meaning the emotional strength, like maybe how strongly they're feeling, how strongly they've invested their heart into something. But the divination card is also coming in. So it's almost as if there's some sort of a fear coming up about the strength of the spiritual bent of the person is. So there might be like some imbalance within the person that you're starting to pick up on, or it could be that this person has a problem with your strength. They're afraid of your strength of spirit, like your connection to spirit. I don't know if that's going to make sense to some of you out there, but there's something that this person is afraid of. I'm getting the impression that the fear card that's coming up isn't necessarily yours. It could be theirs. But either way, when fear comes up, it's often a projection. You know, it depends on the circumstance, but it could be that you're bouncing it off each other, that you're afraid and then they become afraid, and it becomes toxic because there's something that wasn't right. There was some truth, something that was said that just wasn't honest. That you thought they were a friend or something. You thought that they were a better friend than that. But there's resistance coming up. So it does look like perhaps for you, you're going to experience resistance, or your mind could go into resistance about this, about, let's say, the sex, or about the intimacy that's occurred. You know, I have to say, it could very well be, Gemini, that there's, for some of you out there, this is clearly not going to apply to everybody. It's just not. But it could be for some of you out there that an affair has occurred, and now there's fear that the toxicity is coming into the home, that there's something that that the strength of the person, or the conviction of the person, let's say, that the event occurred with, is making you feel a bit frightened, and you don't want toxicity to come into the home. So that's what I'm getting. And this is pretty specific too. So again, this is definitely not going to apply to everybody. However, portions of it might, because oftentimes, everybody, when these stories come up, they're thematic. So the specifics of how they show up obviously are specific to each person. They're distinct, as they should be. But thematically, there could be some other areas where, Gemini, you're going to have something's not right. Something was offered to you or given to you, or you maybe were even just interested. Maybe sex never occurred. Maybe, you know, the affair never happened, or whatever it was. But there is something with desire that's coming up. So it's definitely, there's some sexual interest or some sexual event that does turn out to be causing a problem. It turns out to be not aligned, not right. And it does, there is a fear that comes up within you. It does look like it is probably your fear that's coming up about toxicity in the home, and you're not wanting that. So hold that lightly. Let's move on to the other cards, and as it always does, you know, we find out more of the story with the rest. So this is Carolyn Mrs. Archetype card deck. So let's see what qualities are asking to be evolved through you this month, because I think that is going to speak a little bit more to what we're talking about. And actually, as I'm shuffling, I just want to kind of bring you back to the I Ching harmony. Harmony is kind of the sub theme for Gemini. So, for example, if harmony is the bed, the foundation, which is thick, right, with potentiality for you this month, then that harmony is going to be the thing that is activated by this event, or by this possibility, this potential that's showing up, that could cause illness or imbalance to the harmony. So harmony could be like the theme for you, and then this event comes up that challenges the harmony. And you're going to have some decisions to make some choices, be really mindful about what's coming up, you know, and what is the most aligned choice for you. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at Messiah. You know, I have to say Messiah keeps coming up. We've had this come up several times. Let me show it to you and then I'll read it. So this is the quality set, Gemini, that's asking to be evolved through you this month. So let's read it. So lower frequency, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. The elevated version, serving humanity with humility. This is also serving yourself and your family and your local community, you know, with humility, like being in a space of humility, I would say. But Messiah does speak to the bigger picture. So it could be, Gemini, that the harmony that is, it's like thick, the potentiality for harmony is so there, that the Messiah is kind of pushing you to like move beyond the pettiness maybe of this event that might be coming forward for you. It's almost like a bit of a test, like maybe how aligned are you? And so the Messiah is like speaking to your greater potential, you know, of bigger work in the world. And it's almost like the pettiness, perhaps the pettiness of this particular situation is there to mature you, grow you, have you step into more alignment, greater alignment, serving humanity with humility. That's what's wanting to be birthed through you this month. So let's see. So this is the Ascended Master. This is Doreen Virtue. So let's see what Master wants to come forward for you this month, Gemini. So Gemini. Fertility. It's interesting with the desire card there. Pan, fertility. You are getting a few, I have to say, most of the spreads, if not 99% of the Alchemy Scopes, are very cohesive. Yours is pretty varied, but it's always connected. There's always a symbiotic connection between all of these parts. What I would say is with Messiah coming up about kind of service with humility, and with fertility, Pan, because this is about you are fertile now, which, by the way, I would just keeping in mind the spread that we just looked at, you want to make sure that you're careful if you don't want to conceive, is really what I want to tell you. So Pan fertility is about getting pregnant. It is about giving birth, but it's also about fertility, the creative emergence of a project. And that's speaking to Messiah. So it's as if, this is what I'm getting, Gemini, for you. It's as if there are two main themes active for you this month, which isn't totally surprising at all, because we are all moving into a greater level of service. We all are, whether we know it or not. And it could very well be that this situation that's coming up about toxicity at the home is, it's like this event that's meant to mature you to get to these, to get to the place of being the creator, you know, being the fertile one, to bring, you know, new projects forward. So let's see. So I have an additional piece for you this month. This is Stephen Farmer's Spirit Animal Guidebook. It's just a guidebook. There's no cards with it. And a few months ago, I pulled a card. I pulled a page, intuitively pulling a page. And I was really called to do it again this month because I've had some interesting experiences with animals this last week. So it was really calling to also incorporate this in the October scope. So let's see for Gemini, what's coming. Panda. So Gemini, let me read this. So the animal totem for you is Panda. Let's see what it says. You're thinking is much too polarized into black and white, right and wrong. So try to broaden your perspective. You can do anything you want once you set your mind to it, especially if the desire originates in your heart. Take yourself somewhere up high where you can view the world below and meditate from this vantage point, observing how you feel as you do so. Rather than juggling a whole bunch of projects, take one at a time and finish it before moving on to the next. So it's almost, I just want to stop there and say, with Pan, fertility, this could be good because it might be for some of you Geminis out there that you have lots of projects, lots of pans in the fire. So you have many projects kind of at stages of incompletion, for example. So this is about you. So you might be very fertile, like there's lots of projects coming forward, lots of things happening, wanting to happen, wanting to be initiated, or wanting to be completed. This is good advice here. This is about taking one at a time. Incorporate the goddess Kuan Yin in your panoply of spiritual consultants. Rely on your intuitive voice for guidance rather than input from others. Panda. So focusing on one at a time. Life isn't black and white. Your projects aren't black and white. So it very well might be that for you, Gemini. And then for this final component for your alchemy scope, you know, I pull up the Dakini. So this is based, first of all, this is Penny Slinger's 64 Dakini Oracle. She's fantastic. And she bases this pantheon. She created this mandala, if you will, of these 64 Dakinis based on the 64 Yogini Dakinis of India. And so they're transmuted, but there are a lot of the original ones in here as well. So you received, which is very interesting, Fantasia. So number 39, Fantasia, is who you received. Now, again, a reminder that when I pull up the Dakini, so another reminder, there's 64 I Ching hexagrams, 64 Dakinis. So we're kind of bookending your alchemy scope a bit with these 64 mandalas of 64 units. So number 39, Fantasia, is of course a modern day Penny Slinger created Dakini, but who imbues the quality sets of this particular goddess. So I'm going to read here a little bit. And if you want more of the Dakini library is below this video. Fantasia, the fun frequency ignites within her like fire, then ripples through her being like water in self, replicating effervescent bubbles. Fantasia is the Dakini of fun. She represents the fun frequency which bubbles up spontaneously. She resides in the eternal palace of fun and can appear without warning at any time. She can appear without warning anytime, any place, and she can lighten things up. She carries the humorous sediment and can be the saving grace in many situations, even the dire and tragic. Her main mission is to stop people from taking themselves too seriously. Interesting. The jesters in courts of old were not just there to entertain the rulers, but to help alleviate the tension a person holding such responsibility would naturally experience. So that's interesting too, actually. By bringing humor to the topics of the day, if the jester is doing his or her job well, the relaxation this provides allows room for the issue to breathe, and the ruler may well be able to view things from a fresh and a more expansive perspective. So there's a couple things here. One is this Dakini, Fantasia, is kind of the guidance for you about what quality set to embody, what goddess, whether you're male or female watching, who to embody. So there's a couple things here. One is expansion. The other is fun. The other is release. So expansion, expanded viewpoint, expanded perspective, not black and white, came up with Panda. And the other thing is, you know, something could come up theoretically with this particular situation, because I didn't show you, the Lovers card came up too. So it could very well be, Gemini, that something emerges with this particular individual. It could be a friend of the family's. It could be somebody that you once considered a friend and they become a lover, something. Somebody in your network, somebody in your circle. But it could be that something here happens where, you know, there's just a release needed. But the spread is very, very clear that soon, essentially, something could become not right with it. So you just want to be mindful. So I think it's good that Fantasia is coming up, because I think there could be this thing about the embodiment of taking things lighter, taking things not so seriously, and being the embodiment of fun, but just also being discerning. Also be mindful, yeah? Fantasia represents the positive approach to life. Fantasia presents herself to you to bring some fun into your life. If you are already having fun, she is here to amp up that frequency. Now, again, we're already amping up our frequency. So this is interesting, actually. Having fun is the spice of life. To have fun, the first thing to discover is how to have fun with yourself. Your body, your being is a wonderland. Fantasia has created her own amusement park, so she will never be bored. Boredom and apathy are the enemies of joy. Let's see. So I'm going to go down to the bottom here. So the Dakini transmission. So this is what Penny Slinger writes. Fun is free. Fun is good. You need it now. You know you should. Have a regular dose of fun every day. I've come to ask you out to play. So this is clearly about having fun. It's about really letting loose. But I have to say, with the spread, though, because you've received very kind of positive elements here, you know, with harmony coming up, with Fantasia coming up, with Messiah, with fertility. I mean, there's a lot of kind of sexuality and abundance and flow, you know, energy kind of effervescing forward, coming forward. And this is beautiful. So the spread feels interesting because it feels like a counterpoint. It feels like there might be a situation that's going to come up that will be a counterpoint to maybe some other more thematic or broad things happening for you this month. I think that's it. And you know, there is some resistance coming up in your thoughts, as we talked about earlier. And it could be that actually just having a more joyful perspective on what's going on is going to help you get through that, Gemini. All right. So I think that's going to be it. If any of you out there, I mean, I have to say for the majority, it looks like this could be a month of getting through. But there are quite a few people out there, quite a few signs that are needing some clarity on some things. And so if you find that this is a powerful month for you, that things are surging, that you do need clarity on your soul print, on the archetypes that are within, on this month, and what the eclipses for you specifically are asking to have eclipsed out of your life, and what's asking to be birthed anew. I created 90-minute in-depth Skype sessions. So the link will be here on the video somewhere, and it will be below the video as well. So if you're interested, contact me and we'll arrange a session for you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, Gemini. I will have some other videos coming forward this month. So until those videos come out, or until the next Alchemy Scope, I wish you a very powerful month. Use the energies this month. Ground yourself. Grow yourself. There's a lot of potentiality to move yourself into new ways of being, really. So utilize this month. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.